Well, here we are. It's another Sunday Live. My name is Daryl Ledyard, along with Simon Hogman. Thank you for joining today for
Hey,
another
Daryl.
Sunday Live. And we got some good stuff in store for you today. Lots to talk about, lots to get through. So we thank you for joining us as we kind of get things going. Now, if you do find us via the email, we're not broadcasting into the Facebook account. This is the first week we're not broadcasting into the main Mass Page website Facebook account. But I think Simon's now, he has his SEO superheroes or SEO heroes. I'm not sure what it is.
It's heroes
But
these days, yeah.
yeah, so it's going into there. If you have to do Facebook, just look up that one. How would people find that group?
Yeah, just look up SEO heroes and you'll find it there. Yeah.
Okay. Otherwise, the best place is to use I would say the Mass Page Tools or Simon Hogman SEO's YouTube channels. And we'll get you guys cranked up with all your comments and everything on the screen here. So we have domain giveaways. We're going to try to hit that at the top of the hour. We might be a little bit early for that. So don't wait till the top of the hour because I have a busy schedule after this call, so I have some things I have to do. But yeah, so definitely be here, present to win, that kind of thing. And we have an update about Prizes.Live, and we'll talk about that a little later on in the show. So thank you. Look at all the people coming through.
Yeah,
Let's
loads
say
of people
Ertl.
there. Yeah.
We
Hey,
got
Erdal, how you doing?
Tim says spin it already.
Tim, spin it.
Hey
You're an hour
guys,
early.
good to be here. Claudia says hello.
Claudia.
Let's see. We got Dana saying hi,
Dana.
guys. And Rod says hello. So welcome
Hello,
to a
Rod.
Sunday Live, guys. Got Colin K, who won a domain recently or a Prizes.Live. We need to contact him back. So Colin, I did get your message. Just been hammered, doing a lot of stuff. So Simon, what a week it's been. My goodness.
It's been a busy week. Yeah, there's lots happening.
Yeah, you are doing some experiments that we'll talk about a little bit later. I've been working so hard on just the MWB things that I'm trying to implement before the launch. I've got a lot of ideas. We're going to figure out which things will go into the very first iteration. And so there's a lot to talk about with that. So we'll get into that kind of thing. We'll have the domain giveaways. We're going to do the Prizes.Live, but after this week, we're going to hold off. And so we'll tell you why coming up a little bit later on that end of things. But we welcome you here. We love your participation. We love the fact that you guys are following and subscribing and liking the content. It's really great to have you guys here and being a part of this journey with us as we learn more about Mass Page, SEO, lead generation, and things like that all together here. So
yeah, got a few more people shout out for the Furman. Good to see you. And Don is with us as always. Good to see you, Don. Don's telling Tim to back down a bit on spinning it, which is good. And we've got Stephen off as well, and Lucy too. So yeah, good to see everyone. Full house tonight.
Awesome. Yeah. So thank you guys. I hope one of you guys win this domain. And Tim Judge is disqualified because he said spin it too early. So he's gonna have to sit this one out. Just kidding.
Yeah. So we've got a lot on at the moment, and I've been doing a lot of testing and trying out some new ideas and trying to build out some of the SEO on one of my sites, my own personal photography site. So we're going to talk about that as well. And Daryl, I'm sure you'll be able to give us a bit of an update on some of the stuff that you're working 120 hours a week on, or whatever it is at the moment. You're pretty busy, yeah.
Yeah, it has been very busy, and of course, I have to throw another project. I'm working on doing a podcast as well, so that's another vein of my life. But yeah, of course, I've got to throw something else on the fire. So, but a lot of the work that I do is sometimes waiting. So I'll have like a whole bunch of stuff and things to test out and things to work on. But then there's like this downtime. I don't know if you ever have that kind of thing where you're just like waiting for something to happen. And it's just like, well, why not add something else in this little time? And the nice thing about, like, if you guys like podcasts as much as I do, you can record the podcast when you have the time slot to do it. And then you can just schedule it. and then it just goes out and it goes out into the series and stuff. So I've always wanted to do one. So I just decided, what the heck, I'll do that. It's not about mass page or SEO. It's more about like living a full life kind of thing, and just, family and like, spirituality and that kind of fun stuff. So I'm enjoying, getting into like sort of, I want to write a book at some point, believe it or not. That's about life and stuff like that. So that's,
is that the reason for the clouds, Daryl, for the
yes,
background?
yeah.
A bit of a blue sky
I feel
thing,
like I'm in
a
the
bit more
clouds today. Yeah, I do feel
Yeah.
like I'm in the clouds today. But no, seriously. I've done business for 20 some odd years, and I did radio for a long time. You guys may or may not know that, but I did radio as part of, kind of a hobby. So the thing is that this mass page thing started with my very first business, which was in alignment with radio. And so I did my first thing with lead generation in the DJ industry. That's how I got started with it. And yes, we thought we were sky high. But that lead generation experience that I had is why I'm here doing mass page now, because I believed in these local landing pages like back in the 90s. And so I built hundreds and hundreds of pages back in the 90s, and I've believed in it ever since, because I think if you do it the right way, it can be amazing. So the reason why we're all here is because I got started early with it, and I just fell in love with what it can do. So the folks that are here because of the mass page, thank you for your support in this. And the people that are here for the domaining, that's just been on the sidelines of this as well. So a lot of these are like interests of mine that I just expand and do on here. And so fire truck going by. Yeah, so it's one of those things where you do what you've got to do, that's in your interest, what inspires you, and what gets you going. And so I just want to teach other people, that you can do things in alignment to yourself. And that I hope that everybody's getting to do that in their life, is to do things that are aligning them with what their interests are. And so I've been really thankful to be able to do that. So yeah. So this is where we are. This is why we have Sunday Live. This is why we have all this stuff.
Sounds good. Are you going to share the podcast link at some stage, Daryl, or is that
just
at
some point? Yeah,
it
hasn't launched yet until March 14th. We're going to do Monday's launches of the podcast. It might not be for everybody, but it is, just about living just like a deeper, richer life in general. It's not, religious or anything like that. It's just basically talking about, everything from science to family to, motivations and inspirations and things like that. So, yeah,
sounds good.
Stuff like that. So today Simon has got some slides, and you've been doing some really cool research and experimentation. We've talked a little bit about click-through rate, and that I think that's something you're going to discuss here today, right?
Yeah, sure. Just going to share a few ideas on how to boost a new page when it's just been launched, particularly if you're dealing with a website that doesn't have any DA really to speak of and everything else. So yeah, if you just give me a second, I'll
sure
get the slides up. Can you see that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just if you're doing a new page. So I'm just doing a lot of testing at the moment, and I guess that question is when you've just built a new content page, a cornerstone page, or a sort of authority blog post, what can you do to make it rank quicker once launched? Now, there's different thoughts on this, for all the way from don't do anything, just leave it, to be very sort of interventionist and moving things along. And I'm testing a number of things out at the moment. So if I think about this, I just put this chart together in terms of how I think of the different stages you need to go through to get those golden, page one, number one rankings on the right hand side with the cup here. So obviously the first stage is pretty obvious. You need to get the page indexed, and that's been a little bit trickier, I would say, than normal recently. Google has had some indexing issues, I think some technical issues. I think they were back in November, and I think general consensus is that Google is indexing slower on some things, not crawling quite as much, and some people are having it sort of harder to get indexed, and that's going to be a particular problem or challenge on mass pages or sites that have little existing traffic or little existing domain authority, i.e. backlinks. So first thing is like get indexed, obviously. And then obviously you want to start the page ranking at some level. So, I use SE ranking. I track the first 200 positions, and some things often come in, position 150, 140, whatever like that. And then you want to start adding in signals and backlinks to build obviously your authority and
so
engagement.
let's help people to understand what this
sorry,
means
I'm
by
racing through this, Daryl.
Yeah. So when it comes to signals, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, so this is where these are visits from either referrals from other sites or organic searches that people have found, or maybe they've gone through, Facebook or Google Business or even a direct click. So these are visitors onto the site, which Google will see. They'll see the source of the traffic. They'll see people interacting, and obviously then things like dwell time, bounce rate, how many pages people actually work through, in terms of the actual site. So it's basically Google looking at the engagement with the site. So these are our signals, could be social signals, general sort of traffic signals. So it's clicks and visits and engagement with your website is what I would say was a signal.
Yeah, so like I love this idea, right? That you start with signals and then you do some backlinks. Now, not sure where you're going to go with the next slide, but for me, those these page 2 rankings, which you have page 1 rankings on here, the page 2, the initial ranking, the step 2 that you have here, is what justifies having some signals, and then having some signals justifies some backlinks, right? Just like your citations and just a few backlinks. But then I think after you start to get some decent rankings, it's just a back and forth between signals and backlinks, until you get to a point where it's holding its own on page 1. And once it's holding its own, all of the things just naturally click into place as long as you don't have a crappy website.
Yeah, I agree. And it's that chicken and egg, isn't it? It's how do you get to that first page so you get natural traffic? And it's very much a virtuous circle. And you often see that when somebody's ranking very high on their local search results organically, but the GMB is the same and one's helping the other. And obviously, if you're in that top 3, you're going to get 65, 70% of the organic traffic typically anyway. If you're at the bottom of the page, it's going to be a lot less. If you're on page 2, you're probably going to hardly see anything at all. So once you get up there, it can be something that's actually not I wouldn't say easy, but it can be sort of self-perpetuating. I'd say, it just keeps up there because as you say, you're getting signals just by the fact that it's there. But sometimes it's hard to push yourself up onto the first page to even get a shot at it. So yes, I've got a few slides with some thoughts on how that can be done, just to give it a little bit of a help. But I mean, many people say just leave it, and if the content's right, the on page is right, it'll be there. But I mean, I'm testing things to try and accelerate it. So I'll go through some thoughts on that. Okay, so here's the example that I shared this a couple of weeks ago, actually. This is a cornerstone page on my photography website. It's all about wedding photography. And I wrote a 4,000-word cornerstone page, and I did a lot of work on it in terms of image optimization, geotagging the images, for example, adding in a lot of address data, zip codes or postcodes in the UK, addresses, a lot of detail. It was quite it took a few days to sort of put everything together, make it look as I wanted it to. So it's this is the link if you want to click through, and obviously I'm very clearly artificially enhancing the click-through rate by sharing the link, but you can have a look at that. You're very welcome to do that. So this is what I did, and my photography website, I'd actually deleted all the content off it because I was finding that I was competing with some of the existing clients in my area, and most of my focus now is on SEO, not wedding photography, although I'm still active as a wedding photographer, and I run a wedding photography marketing group on a different day. So it's important for me to kind of keep a toe in the water and be able to demonstrate to people that I do know what I'm doing, and it's better to do it on my own site. So I started to start SEOing my site. So I'm using this as a bit of a test case at the moment. Okay, so it's only been a few weeks, but here's the progress. I'm targeting Northeast wedding photographer. According to SE ranking, there's 800 searches a month on this. Now, it may not be that many, to be fair. It's certainly not 10, though. It's Northeast of England is a population of 5-6 million, I think, something like that. It's a reasonably populous area, so you're going to get a good amount of traffic off that, and there's all the different permutations off that too. Yeah.
Okay. So when you say Northeast, why doesn't that get confused with the Northeast of the US?
Well, yeah, because I mean, it's I'm not ranking in the northeast of the US. Absolutely, people use that for the northeast of the US as well, but it's UK content. And if you looked at that site, you would see it's so well anchored with all of the. I mean, I've got a map of the north of England. I've got a Wikipedia kind of type content talking about all the history of the northeast of England. I've got a list of 50 wedding venues on the page. Google's going to very clearly know that that's a UK page. There's going to be no doubt. I mean, it's a good question, but they'll quickly know it's UK based site, so it's not going to have any issues on that. Nice. So in terms of chronology, so yeah, started writing the page on the 16th, finished it a few days later. It wasn't 3 full days, but it certainly took me on and off a lot of time to put it all together. I think I shared it on the 20th. I think I even shared it on this on the Sunday Live, and I put out to a few groups, my groups as well. I did send it to an indexer. I'll talk about that in a second on the 21st. And then on the 22nd, it popped up at position 47, which I was pretty happy with, because this site's only DA8 to start with. So it's not had much SEO done on it anyway. And I changed the domain earlier in the year. And so this is like not a fresh site, but it's got like 10 organic keywords ranking. There was no content on it. So it's a pretty much fresh, I would say, sort of fresh site, but it's not in the sandbox anyway. So then since then, I've been doing some backlink building, citation building, some CTR. So we'll have a look at that now. So first of all, in indexing, here's all the things I typically do. Many people watching probably watch this and know this anyway, but this is my kind of set of things. So submit the sitemap on Google Search Console, request the URL to be indexed in Google Search Console, put some posts out on Twitter, Facebook, and Google Business Profile. And on this one, I actually sent that one page to the indexer just because I wanted to try and give it a boost. And I'm using an indexer at the moment, and I'm having very good results with it. So I'm very confident. Particularly if it's a mass page that's maybe struggling to get any traction, I'm using this indexer and I put it through, and it's getting a strong result within a day or two. So I did all of that, and then the day after it went through the indexer, it ranked as well. But obviously, I've also been getting signals through some of these other methods as well, and sharing it. So that's the kind of first thing, is get it indexed, and it indexed quickly, and then I got a ranking. So the second thing is getting some signals, and as I just saying there with Daryl, so I've shared it with social media, I've shared it with friends, I've shared it with contacts. So here's a new page I've done. What do you reckon? Obviously, I'm wanting some feedback, but I'm also obviously wanting some traffic signals, cynically, and that's obviously free. So just if you're starting a page, if you can get some people looking at it, that's all good if you can. And I shared it in this group as well, and I think a few people clicked through for that, so that's all good. I'm using an automated CTR tool as well. I'm just experimenting with this. I'm sending a small amount of traffic. I mean, 5 to 10 visits a day to the site. So I mean, I don't want to go mad. It's got to be natural as possible. I think there's a risk with automated tools that you get found out pretty quickly. So I'm just being cautious with that.
Less is more, because you haven't think about it this way. There's a pattern that Google is seeing, that when you have such search volume and you have page 5 rankings, and then all of a sudden you're getting all this hellacious traffic to it, what do you think the algorithm's going to say to that? It's going to say this is out of form, right? This is not normal for somebody. So yeah, having more sometimes is having less, because this, I think this is a really good strategy, just like a little bit like that, and then you can also scale it. It sounds like right,
you can scale it up.
Once it's doing better, you can scale it up until it does have its own pulse on page 1.
Yeah, and what I've been doing there is I've been sending the visits first of all to the branded keywords, so Hogben photography, Simon Hogben photography, and then when the target keyword started to rank, I started sending a little bit of traffic there as well. I mean, it's just a couple of clicks here and there, but it's something just to give that feeling that it's active, and the click-through rate is high. And I've seen I've seen these clicks register on Google Search Console as well, so I know that they are being recognized. I got a nice email from Google to say your site's had 300 visits or something in this week, and that was nice to see. That's being registered, and I can see the branded keywords being registered, so I know that that's actually being recognized by Google. So that's a tick in the box for that. And then just this week, another thing I'm practicing, experimenting with is using a Mentorprize redirect campaign. So I've loaded up 1,000 or so keyword questions about weddings, just random stuff like how much it costs to hire a bus for a wedding, which I don't provide, but it's just general wedding related searches, very low, long tail, very, very low competition, sometimes no, pretty much no competition. And I put it through Mentorprize. And then what I'm doing is, as soon as people land on my Mentorprize pages, it instantly gets redirected through to my main site. So effectively what I'm doing here is CTR. I'm getting clicks onto the Mentorprize campaign, and it goes straight through. Now, a lot of the people that might land on that might be looking for a bus for a wedding. I can't help them there, but I think the clicks are still good to see, and just about all of them are coming through from the UK, because the traffic that the questions I've loaded up are UK related questions. So in a week, I've had about 50 or 60 clicks on that as well. So,
one of the things that you can do with Mentorprize is because you can insert variables inside of your questions is absolutely what you were just saying, is you could have all of the top Q&As and then you just modify it with all of the towns and villages and all the things in the area. So it allows you to get a whole bunch of very, very long tail, low competition, like you said. And it works almost like, because of this redirect, it brings it right to what you put is a really long article, right? And so if your article touches on a few of those topics, that's the nice thing, is like, first you go after the frequently asked questions, and then you make sure that you mention those inside the page as well, or have like little blurbs and things like that. Then you could probably rank as well, right? Because you're doing a redirect.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take a bit of time for them to work out that maybe the answer to that particular question might not be on that page. But Mentorprize, actually, the redirect works. It actually cancels out the back button as well. So whatever happens, it's going to take a bit of time for people to reroute themselves if that's what they do. So it's probably in the sort of I don't know. It's a CTR technique. I mean, you can decide if you want to do that or not.
If this really does work, and people do have Mentorprize, a lot of people in our group have Mentorprize. Would you do like a small course, put in your mass page architect, to kind of show this kind of technique for, like, makes basically mass page redirection? I think that would be a really good course that you could do. Just using mass page as a CTR, as a traffic based signals based thing,
Yeah, I mean, this is the sort of thing I'm picking up in my coaching group each week. So some of these, a little bit more detail on these things and some of the stats behind it, I'm happy to share in the coaching group. So that's every Monday, 8 o'clock UK time, or 3 p.m. EST. If you want to come along, it's only £17 a month. There's a few of us in it, including Don. So yeah, if you want to learn about this, I'll share.
Erdl says that would be awesome.
Erdl's joined us recently in the coaching group. So yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, so I've got a bit of CTR going, nothing mad, started with the branded keywords. And then, so if a site like this gets 10, 15, 20 visits a day on that page, that's a good result. That's natural. That's going to look fairly reasonable. Okay. So, and the next thing I've been doing, and this is obviously a man after your heart here, Daryl, I've been buying a lot of domains recently. So I think I've bought about 20 domains this week, which is far more than I normally buy. And what I've been doing is I've been trying to find, and this follows on from the chat we had on last week's Sunday Live about using expired domains, putting them on a platform. I'm using brick.do, but you could use Yive sites. You could obviously use WordPress as well. Trying to rebuild some of the existing content, trying to match up the links that are coming in to the links to your site. So you don't just 301 redirect an expired domain. You actually get the backlinks and to new pages, or rather the pages that used to exist, and then you put a link on your site page. To Google, it looks like if you do a 301 redirect, it looks that Google just sees the 301, it sees the original site. On this, it looks like the website that you've bought. So I've got quite a few good ones. This is not my best one, but I've bought a domain name that used to belong to a wedding venue. So Castle Upton Weddings is a wedding venue. It's got all its sort of directory links still to it. They don't do weddings there anymore, but I've bought the domain. So I've just recreated the content, and I will show you here. Here we go. So this is Bricks. It's simple blog, micro blog. Hopefully you can see that. So I've taken some of the content that was originally on Wayback Machine. I've put in the picture. I've put in the text that was originally there. And to be fair to them, I've put a Wikipedia link to there. So if somebody lands on this ever looking for it, here's what it used to say, and here's the Wikipedia page, and here's their map. But within this text, I've put in this, anchor text and link to my hogbenphotography.com website. Yeah. So I've been buying up things like this. So I've got wedding show domains. I actually got 10 domains that used to belong to a very well-known chain hotel who got rid of a load of domain names. And I even got one like a DA31 domain name for a wedding venue. They still operate as a wedding venue, but it's on another domain. But there's links that are going on to that are links that I know you'd have to pay £500 a year to be part of a directory, and this venue is still in the directory under their own old name. So I'm getting all that power for $8.
Yeah.
And then what I'm doing is obviously building a little bit of content, nothing massive. And then now I've got these links. Now these links are indexing and showing up on my SE ranking profile within a day or two. I mean, so I can see
with
them.
the indexer or without?
No, I'm just putting them up because these
Wow.
have got.
Yeah.
This will have maybe not this one, but the other one might have 100 or 200 backlinks from different IPs already. So as soon as you put anything back on it with a bit of content, it's getting seen.
Can you see the CTR working as an indexer without indexing, like without doing any kind of indexing or sitemap with GC SC? Without pushing Google to see it, could you use just CTR to have it seen?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Google obviously. I mean, what we're doing here, this could be CTR, but it's obviously links as well. And the fact that these backlinks are appearing, I mean, Google's an index. It's a crawler, isn't it? So the moment it sees these links on the coming up, it's going to look at your site, and it's going to be aware of traffic onto the site as well. So yeah, I think this would help it index anyway without the indexer. I mean, I'm trying to accelerate this. So it's always hard on these things to know, well, what's the individual effect of this? I'm doing a few things at once,
It's like having Google chase you instead of you chasing after Google,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Signal's definitely helped to index. I think that's good, but I think these links are showing up as well. So that's Castle Upton wedding venue. But they don't do any weddings anymore. If I go back to a couple of things I'm doing as well, so I'm doing a Citation Blast. So I've had somebody else, a freelance, add the site to 150 sites. They're just sort of generic directory sites. I've seen a couple of the links come through.
Do they go to a tier 1 or direct to the money site?
I've put it to the money site because they're tier 2 directories. They're not necessarily Yell or Yelp, but it's like Brown Book and Scoots and it's other things that
I have mixed feelings about that, but I just have recently noticed a lot of these second tier citation sites send the signal to Google that it's a profile of SEO being done. And so I avoid it, but it'd be interesting to see what happens with this experiment, because you're throwing a lot of horsepower at this. And the question is it too much too fast? That's what we'll probably see here.
Oh, we'll see. Well, we'll see. And I'll come back. I'm happy to go open book on this, and I'll come back and do updates, and we can see. So either I'll be sort of there, just like page 1, where it needs to be, or not, and we can have a discussion about it. So yeah, I'm throwing a few things at me. I think if I was doing this on a client site, I may be a little bit more cautious. So this is my own site, so I'm being a bit more, playing around with a few things.
The 1,000 sites on Google News, is that to the money site too?
No, I'm putting those to my MPB. So I'm putting this to my subdomain.
Okay.
So I'll have pro.hogbenphotography.com, and I'm putting that 1,000 links to that, and I'm also going to put a Mentorprize redirect on it. So any of the traffic that comes in off any of the new stuff will then just bounce straight into the main site. So that will be some CTR as well. But yeah, I'm not using the Google News sites directly to a money site. Plenty of people do. That's one of the things people are using it for, but I'm using it just for the to try and help with indexation and staying in the index for the mass page site. So the mass page site I've built has got 139 pages, and I'm just going to fire Google News links to those, and
Yeah.
that should boost the main site. But yeah,
I think what we're hearing here is need to layer the link juice. That's Don talking about that. That's interesting. Yeah, and I think it also now with that 1,000 sites, can you drip that or no?
no.
I
Well,
see.
no, I think I get them through Holly Starks, and I think you can drip them if you speak to her. I'm just sending them all through.
Interesting. Well, we'll see.
So, well, should we see what's happened so far? Because we've got the results, haven't we? So, should we see where we are?
Oh yeah, let's see.
Right. So far, so we're doing good so far. So here's the timeline. So I wrote the content, started on the 16th, finished on the 19th, indexed on the 20th. Sorry, 21st. Shared it with you guys 20th, and then I got indexation and ranking pretty much within a day of each other. Started at 47, dipped a little bit, and then it's grown quite nicely since then. Now, I'm only this is only 2 weeks of data here, but I'm at number 19, so bottom of page 2 at the moment, which I'm pretty happy about. It is a very competitive search term. When I was a wedding photographer a few years ago, and I'd not really done so much SEO by then, I was really sort of building up my experience on it. I was never able to rank page 1 for this. I've got a client ranking for it now, but this was always the one that I thought, well, that's really hard because it's quite high volumes, relatively speaking, and I focus on other areas. So I'm kind of hoping, because I'm actually speaking at a photography event in a couple of weeks, I'm kind of hoping if I can scrape up onto the page 1 within a month, that would be a great thing to be able to show. Because obviously, as you know, we're in SEO, you typically think 3 months if you can see something happening, 6 to 9 months is a good kind of mature time to look at your results. So we'll see. But I mean, it could easily, I could be coming back in 2 weeks time and it have slumped, and we know how Google does the dance. It moves things around, stuff goes up and down, and this is very early on. But I feel that the signals and the CTR is helping it at this early stage, and there's being I think it looks natural. I mean, obviously we can debate about the citations and the Google News stuff, but the actual organic traffic is it's UK based stuff. It's that's coming through, that's being tracked, and Google seems to be putting it on Search Console. So that's that's that. Yes.
Oh, that isn't real. I was going to say if we can look at the backlinks showing up in like Ahrefs or one of those in another week, it would be interesting to see if you're getting a huge extreme number of backlinks, because I found recently that even with trashy citations, having a large number of backlinks happen in a very short period of time, like some of these automation CTR types of things, they sound like they would be great on paper, but I immediately got a hit to the progress that was taking place with this project I was working on, and
well, let's see.
until it levels off, it was going down, and so once it leveled off, now it's starting to go up again. So my curiosity is, what this does with the backlinks, and then it would be cool to do like a parallel experiment, doing the same thing like as a control, and just do CTR with that one and no backlinks, and see what the difference between throwing some juice at it versus just allowing the traffic to be there, because that would be interesting. I mean, maybe you would have to take just another page with the exact same content, so that's apples to apples, and then see which one outranks the other one. Do you see what I mean? With
yes.
traffic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. The expired domains I'm quite excited about. I mean, because I can see them showing, and
that's
and
a
I've
really
got some
solid technique. I'm sorry, I'm just readjusting. That's a really solid technique, to take the expired domains and then only take the winner pages with the best backlinks, and just reverse engineer something there and then send the stuff upward. That's probably the best PBN technique that is out there, because it's like 100% quality pages that you didn't have to game to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And because I in terms of researching, I'd use expireddomains.com. I'd find certain keywords, so and so wedding show or so and so photography. Well, I've got some photography ones, so I put it in. Then I'll put them through Moz. I'll have a look at the DA and have a look at the backlinks there. Then I'll look at SE ranking, a little bit more detail, and then just take a view really. But there's backlinks in those ones that I've bought that I've personally paid £100 for in the last week, but they're already there. They're existing from 2013, 2014. So when I go through it and I see one of those expired domains that's got 3, 4, 5 of those kind of domains, for me it's relevant, and I know that the thing, whatever was there before, it was a wedding related site. So I'm pretty happy that for those ones in, I can just put them straight onto the, I'm not worried about those backlinks. Citations, maybe different, Google News, different discussion. But I think on these look like local supplier links, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah, that definitely. There are basically a few experiments that could be done with just your techniques here. One is the experiments of the CTR in combination with all these things, and then like segmenting out these things and just seeing what happens with just those quality backlinks and no CTR. It's and then you worry about the page cannibalization, right? Would it just like not work after you did the same content? Would you have to be like spin it so it's a little bit different on that cornerstone thing,
I mean, I don't think that cornerstone page would rank just on its own. I think the content alone, I don't think it would ever get any signals and get up there. I think it would be a long time, because I have worked on quite a few photography sites and there's a lot of content, and I think it's just supporting with other things is needed. I mean, things can get there eventually.
What is your plan if this does work? Because you're not doing a lot of photography now. Will you redirect this for a fee to some other photographer? What do you plan to do with this traffic once you get it?
It's a good question. I'm going to build up the stats on my own website, because it's just good for an example, and it's nice to be able to say I've got traffic word and here's my graph. And it's because recently I've been having to, when I'm talking to clients, I'm sharing other clients' sites as examples, and it's not quite as good as saying here's what I've done on my own site. So that's what I'm using it for, kind of marketing. And if you want to book me for weddings, if anybody's listening, we can have a chat, and happy to do it. So
for 5,000 an hour, right?
That's it, yeah. But because I'm running this wedding marketing group as well, it's helpful to be part of that, and it also helps me keep like what's actually working. So rather than just telling people here's what you should do, it's nice to be kind of in the thick of it and learning some techniques. So that's what I'm doing there. Obviously, now I've got these 20 domains, I have an option to use those as backlinks to other people. So I could actually sell a package of those and say, I'll put a page and a backlink from here. Cool. They're all wedding sites. They're all DA X to Y, and they're all relevant. And I could use that to send it to other clients if I wanted to use it a bit like a PBN.
And your redirect code there could actually redirect. Once it's ranking page 1, you could redirect to your customer's site for a monthly fee is a rank and rent page instead of rank and rent site. Do you see
you
what I'm
could
saying?
do, yeah. I don't know if these brick sites that I'm putting up here have got enough content on for them to really rank. I mean, you'd probably have to put quite a lot of content on there. I'm really just looking at the link juice passing through. I think the redirect is more the Mentorprize, where you can throw out a lot of content, and then that's probably going to be where you'd actually get traffic from, rather than that. But I mean, I'm tracking it all. I'm using Switchy to look at the link clicks coming through on some of these. So I've got a good idea of what's happening. So anyway, that's the news from the lab on this one.
That's really cool. Yeah, that really love that kind of stuff. So I'm sorry I had so many questions inside me on that one. So
no, that's good. That's great, and hopefully that's helpful. And I'll do my final just plug on my group. So if you want to chat about this kind of stuff with me, I do my weekly coaching group, and here's the link: go.ht/Simon Coach. We've got a few people watching now that are in the group, and tomorrow we're going to be talking about AI content and automation. Next week we'll be talking about local SEO. Week after that we're talking about Google Business, and then we'll talk about mass page building. We're just going a bit of a loop and cover off something each time, but we can get into more detail on this stuff. I can show you more stats and talk about some of the tools I was using, if that's helpful. So that's my plug. Yeah,
sounds good. Okay, well, we still have the domain giveaway that's coming up later on. So we do have this right here, wellycare.com, which will be a good healthcare website, windowsbuy.com, bleeps.com, which could be a good brandable. So if you're just looking for something to sell on to Squad Help or something like that, bleeps.com, it's a 6-letter domain. And topcleanup.com. These are ones that I've picked up, and we are giving them away to somebody tonight on this show. So thank you guys for being here. We'll just ask your name and put it into the wheel of names for that. Now, I think this is a good opportunity now to talk about Prizes.Live. Like with Domain Kicks Live that we're doing on Wednesdays, we're just going to table Prizes.Live after tonight's show until we have a little bit more time on our plate. There's a lot that's going on behind the scenes with regard to the Mass Website Builder integrations with all of the things I want to integrate it with. And so I am busy with the developers on that. So this is taking up a lot of the time. So after this week, we're going to just pause Prizes.Live for that additional prize. Tonight's prize is going to be a lifetime of Leads Detective. Okay, so a lifetime deal of Leads Detective. So you'll be able to win that if you put in your name now at prizes.live. Just go to the website, prizes.live, put in your information, and we'll grab that. So this is like the last chance for a while to grab a prize from us.
I think we'd like to come back to. I think it's just that there's so much on, and we want to bring prizes that are going to be specifically useful for businesses. And the idea was to make it like it was a SaaS prize, and maybe get the founder on to have an interview. And it's just a lot of time to set those things up. And I think with everything else that's going on, we just can't put the focus on it and make it a decent job, really. So rather than have it kind of half baked and whatever, we're just going to kind of put it on. We hope to bring it back. That's it. And there's still the weekly giveaway on the domain, so you don't miss out there. But yeah.
Absolutely. And I do want to show that we are not in the Facebook group right now. So we won't be. I want to show you school.com with the SKOOL.com. We have a community on here. I want to recognize the folks that have done the most in the last 7 days: Marcel Christie, Tim Judge, Al Couch, Ted Wasco, Colin Kitzilla, and Darren Hall. And in the last 30 days, you can see the folks on here. So we're looking for more interaction with the group. I have got to post some more things. I think, Simon, if you want to post some things along the way, anybody that has any ideas or questions, throw it on here. We're monitoring this, and I'd like to get more more content on here from everybody kind of sharing their questions and what they've learned and things like that about mass page or domains and things like that. So what I might do is with this leaderboard is think of some kind of a bonus that will happen with the people that are consistently on the leaderboard. Not quite sure what it would be, but I will think about it. It probably won't be like a prize or something, but it might be something else. Now, there is a little bit of gamification in here. So I believe that that Don, myself, and Simon can give you a gem. Now, I'm not sure if you want to have a gem, but this is a gem right here. Colin received a gem here. And you can see that just means that we're pointing out that this was a really good post from him to add to it. Like if you see, there's a lot of good follow up afterwards. So I gave it a gem so that it would stand out. So if you want your post to stand out, add a lot of value. And if we get more stuff, you can see Colin's already gotten 2 gems up here in the right corner. So a little bit of bragging for him if he wants to on that. The other thing I'm just going to reiterate is that you can chat. So if you want to chat with Colin and ask him questions, I have communication on there. You can do that. All right. You can see also who is following him. You can follow him if you want. And if you want to, following means that every time that he posts something, you'll get like a little bit of a notification that says, hey, Colin just posted in the group. So if you automatically, when you signed up, you get to follow me. It sort of tells you what's going on. But I think it would be really good if you follow Don, Simon, and me for sure. So find us inside the group, go to the search and type in Simon and follow, and then Don and follow, and you just look at the leaderboard and you say, oh, well, I like what Marcel says, I like what Ted says, I want to follow Elle because she talks about the domains and stuff like that. Find people, follow them, so that way you can be notified when they're talking about different things. All right. The calendar is really nice because you can go ahead and add this to your calendar, the Sunday Live, so you'll be reminded of what's happening. Simon's coaching is on at 3 p.m. on Monday, so you can go ahead and throw that in there, and there's a link so you can learn where to register for that. So this will all grow as we go. And then there's our classroom that will have all of our tutorials in it once the new interface comes out for Mass Page Tools. So we're working, that's what I mean, behind the scenes. We're working behind the scenes on a new interface for Mass Page Tools, a single sign-on for all of our stuff. Like there's a ton of stuff that you guys haven't seen, so that is coming. So that's why I'm so busy right now, and I don't want to add anything to distract from that. So that's the whole idea there. Is there any comments there? Way to go, Colin. Don needs gem permission. Okay, I think I have to make him an admin, so I'll make sure that gets done. So let's see.
There's a question from L Couch there. Just unsure if a post is appropriate or not. Is there an email that we can ask?
You don't need an email. You can just go ahead and chat with us. So you can ask Don or myself if anything's appropriate or not. So just go ahead and message us inside here. So you just search up at the top, Don, and you'll see he's right here. You just click on his name. And now you can chat with them over here, and you just start a chat. If you wanted to talk to me, you just type in Daryl, and you'll see my post. Just click on my name, and then you can go ahead and chat with me. But this is my account, so I don't have that. So you'll be able to do that. So to sign up, if you're not already in this community, just go to go.ht/sk for school. That's go.ht/sk, and we'll be able to help you out with that. You get signed right into this. It doesn't cost you anything or anything like that. Prior to posting, don't see them in the chat. Just wait. Is it appropriate? I'm not sure what she's saying. Do you?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe Elle, just get in touch with Daryl directly. Maybe just have a bit of a chat about that. Because if you can't work out how to do it within school, you can always go to daryl.chat, can't you? And contact that way. It's another alternative. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to move more people over to the community. So I really hope that more people start using this to chat with me versus the other things.
Yeah.
So
yeah, makes sense.
It looks like somebody sent me a message. See, it says up here somebody sent me a message, and then I can go ahead and look at it. So it's real easy to see how this all works, and I like it. I hope you guys like it as well. All right, now over to Mass Page Tools. One of the things that I've done recently is we've launched another server. So when you look at, like, we've got so many dedicated servers right now. It's running everything so that we can scale this to where we're taking it with Mass Website Builder and the other tools that we're bringing forward. So the Spintex is going to run a little bit faster after, I think, this week, because in our staging server we have this GPU that's a massive GPU running all of the making of the Spintex and that. But if you go into your account, you'll see down at the bottom Siphon Preview. So if you go and you click on this, you can go ahead and put in a web page. So I'll put in my web design company, and we'll see if you go ahead and fetch. This is just to play around with and see if this works a little bit better for you. So this is the content from the page, and then if you hit spin, you can play around with this if you haven't already done so. You'll see right here will be the spin text will come up in a second. And then here's the spin text for all of that that's done with our AI. And then if you go here into your editor, you'll see that you can right click on anything and change the sentence to what you want. Okay, so you have all these different variations that you can look at, right, for all of these things. Okay, so let's see. So there is a thing that says export. That's actually not going to be there. That was just, we were working on a test for something to just show what it would look like. But we do have some things that we are working on to make Siphon just easier and better for everybody. So, so this week was more of an infrastructure thing for that, and a lot of things behind the scenes. It does take a lot to totally revamp a site, and then once it launches, we'll release it. Then I'll do the videos all over again so that people can see how everything works. So I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about where Mass Page Tools is going. And now that we have our own builder, also there's going to be some really cool things that we'll be able to kind of interweave from our existing stuff over to it. So I think it's going to be really cool for everybody. All right. All right. Last chance if you want to get into Prizes.Live, go to Prizes.Live and register. I'm going to go get that list together for Prizes.Live to spin the wheel of names, and we'll.
Oh, Daryl's gone on mute there, I think. I think you're out of the stream, Daryl, but I'll keep going. Yeah. We had a question earlier on. Claudia just asked a question: how exactly do you find expired domains? So I use something called expireddomains.net. I think that's where a lot of people use them. So if you go to that, it's a very sort of I guess functional looking tool, really. But there's masses of different ways of searching for it. You can search on .com, .net, all of those. You can search by the number of backlinks it's got. There's I think there's like hundreds of different ways you can actually search. We did a session on it a few weeks ago. Actually, Daryl took us through some of the techniques he's using. But if you have a look at it, maybe we can do another session on it in the future. It's expireddomains.net. So my sort of technique was to go through looking for anything that had was a .co.uk primarily, had at least 10 backlinks, had wedding in the title, or bride or bridal, and I sort of worked back from that. And then after a little bit, I started looking at hotels and venues. So I was looking for that niche, but obviously if you're doing something else, you'll be able to search it. But it is very clever the way you can say, look only for domains that start with something, contain something, end with something, all the different permutations. And it also shows you the deleted domains. So they're the ones you can buy just, from GoDaddy or whatever for $8-10. And it also shows some of the premium domains too. So you can have a look through there if you want to buy something that costs a little bit more. So, but yeah, expireddomains.net. I'll see if I can just put it in the chat as well, just to show expireddomains.net. I hope that's it. Let me just double check. There we go. I'll just put that in the chat. You should be able to see that. Great. Okay. There's Jorge. He's just come in to see us. He's good to see you, Jorge. Hope you are well. Daryl's still working on Prizes.Live. So look, if anybody has any questions at this point, just let me know. So obviously I did a bit of a session on using different techniques to try and boost your page after it's first launched. Talked about signals, trying to get signals onto the page. Talked about indexing. Talked about backlink building as well, and some of the stuff I'm doing there. And yeah, I'll come back and share those results as they go on. So it's kind of open book. So it'll be interesting to see if it goes up or it goes down. I guess with everything on SEO, you don't control things, so you hope to kind of nudge things in the right direction. And I think some of the comments there about just be careful not to overcook things are right. I guess it's always a question of what's overcooking and what's encouraging, but I guess you've got to sort of stand on your results, and we'll see what happens. But that's what I've gone through.
This is it. So when you give your kids too many toys, right, they become spoiled. But if you don't give the kids enough toys, they are damaged.
So what's enough? Yeah.
So when is enough? When do you give Google too much? You know what I mean? So you got to give them something, otherwise
You
you'll
do have to
never
give them
show up.
something. Yeah, you've got to stimulate it in some way. You've got to have it's got to have a look at it. It's got to index. It's got to rank it. It's got to see some signals. So, yeah. Anyway, we will see. It's the nuance. Yeah. I mean, 5-10 clicks a day is not so bad.
I think that that's the beauty of what you're doing. If you saw that toward the end of that curve, that slow curve, I really like that. That first jump up, obviously you had to show up somewhere, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But when you spike up like that and it doesn't hold, that's where I'm like, you're screwed.
Yeah. I think the traffic is helping it to stay. But anyway, we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Anyway, how are you doing on the wheel?
These are our Prizes.Live people. I'm just looking through to look for any duplicates. I went through the text shaker and removed duplicates, but I think I've got Rod S in here twice. Let's see. Rodriguez.
Yeah. Okay.
It's Jerry Sterling. Okay, looks pretty good. Does you see anything in there twice?
No, looks good. Assuming the Rod S and Rod S there are two different people, but we'll maybe assume they are.
Okay. All right, so we will go ahead and let me just double check the Rod S one. Yep, same email. All right. Are you guys ready? We're going to do the spin for the Prizes.Live for a lifetime of Leads Detective. If you already have Leads Detective, you can give me somebody else's name and email, and you can give away the prize to somebody else. You can sell it. I don't care what you do, but you'll be able to have one lifetime of Leads Detective on the middle plan, not the extreme plan. All right. You guys ready? All right, here we go.
Let's go.
There's about $1,000 value right here, lifetime of Leads Detective, and it goes to John Rodriguez.
John, well done, John
Rodriguez. Congratulations. We'll have you reach out to me, or I'll reach out to you on your email. But if you're watching, John Rodriguez, let us know inside the comments. Congratulations to you, and thank you for jumping into Prizes.Live this week. So we will go ahead and clear these names out. And now this is your chance to win one of the domains that we have up for grabs. We do have a brandable bleeps.com on here. We have wellycare.com, windowsbuy.com, which would be a good, I would say, a really good lead gen site, topcleanup.com and bleeps.com. So go ahead and give us your name and information, or just your name, and we'll go ahead and put you up here. Sorry, I got the hiccups. And we'll give away this prize. I don't think today we're going to do the guest line, because I do have a meeting that I have to jump onto right after this. So
no worries.
But okay,
so do you want to put the wheel up?
Yep. Let me just clear this brand thing out here. Okay.
There we go.
CX3P social. Domains for L Couch.
Yeah.
Rod says yes. Let's go for it.
So Radu is just asking, how do you join the question? So join the contest. So for this contest, just put your name in the chat straight away here, and we'll add you to this wheel in in real time. There you go, Radu. Yeah, that's great. The previous one you had to sign up on a email list at Prizes.Live, but we're pausing that. We were doing 2 giveaways. We're just going to pause that and just focus on this one for now, with everything else that's going on.
You got to try things and see what you can do. But I don't think it's been a bad thing. It's just I don't think you and I just have the time. Not Tim Judge, okay. It's just that to get all the extra work to do behind the show. I don't think people realize there's quite a bit of work to do to get ready for one of these things, and and it's sometimes several times a week we'll end up talking about what we're going to present here and what we're going to talk about, and
we're trying to come up with something different as well. Not we each week we try and come up with a new idea or nugget or test or question or news or something. So yeah, we try and make it different.
Yeah. No, Tim. Let's see. Some chats going on in the YouTube channel here. Guys, be sure if you haven't already subscribed to either Simon's or my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe. We love to have more people on there and tell more people about it. It's a signal to Google. It's all about signals today.
It's all signals, yeah.
So,
That's good, yeah. Actually, I think Jeremy made a comment about signals earlier on, which I didn't mention, about social media reaction. I think that was a comment in relation to signals, which I think is absolutely right. I mean, you don't get do follow links from Facebook, but you certainly get signals that Google sees as the traffic comes through. So yeah, social media reaction makes it sense, particularly if you've got CTR happening. If you've got a lot of traffic and there's social happening at the same time, yeah, I think that all goes together. So
really good point.
Good thought. Yeah.
Yeah, it is good. If you guys are watching on LinkedIn or Twitter, we do have this on YouTube for you to make your comments known. So you can just look up Mass Page Tools inside of YouTube, and we'll be able to leave your comments. If you hear people leaving comments, that's where it's coming in from. All right, last chance to get your name in. All you have to do is put your name and first initial, and we'll put you inside the wheel of names. We now are getting close to spinning this wheel for these domains that we are giving away. Some good ones, definitely worth something. Should I show the value of these? Should we do that?
Yeah, go on, because we're not going to have people on afterwards. So show the value now, and then people can make a quick decision based on if they want the really expensive domain or just one of the others. So.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't checked these ahead of time, so I might regret this.
You might agree. Steve Cruz is putting himself in on the wheel, by the way.
Let's put him in there.
And just whilst you're looking at that, Radu's just asking a question about, do you do any CTR manipulation when doing SEO for a website or GMB? Well, actually, we're talking about this earlier on in the show, which you may not have seen. So I was doing some CTR signals just on trying to get a cornerstone page ranked. So if you watch the replay, you'll be able to see a bit on that, and we can talk about that a bit more on the in the future. But yes, I have been doing some CTR on this as part of a test, and also doing some redirects from mass pages to encourage some signals as well. So yes. And on GMB, yes, you can do that as well, CTR onto the GMB, but I'd suggest you try and get traffic that's local. So it would be unusual for traffic from the US coming into a GMB in the UK. So I think you need to be much more careful about what you do on a GMB from that point of view with CTR. But yeah, we can have another chat in the future if you like.
Okay, so to look at these three domains, we're going to first start with GoDaddy. So if you see Well It Cares at 1451, top cleanup is 1332, Windows Buy is 1429, and Bleeps.com is 1337. If we go to the appraisal of Estabat, we will see that Well It Care doesn't come up. Windows Buy $543, Bleeps $27, and nothing for top cleanup. And if we go to Nameworth, we'll just quickly see what comes up for this. $950 for top cleanup, under $500 for Bleeps, and premium, high premium actually, is $7,450 for Windows Buy and wellycare.com. So I think Windows Buy was probably the top for all of these three. All right. Anybody else want to jump in the wheel of names here?
Yeah, we've got Tony Briggs just came in there. You've got Steve Cruz. Tony's adding his details there.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Okay, guys. I think it's time. We're going to go ahead and spin this wheel and see what happens. As we say, spin it.
Good luck. Yeah.
And it can't be Tim Judge. Oh, look at that. Our moderator, Don. All right. Wow. Don, congratulations. Congratulations, my friend. He's always the one cheering for everybody else. So
yes.
It's nice when he wins a domain. Wondering which one he's going to grab and steal from me. If it's going to take Windows Buy, Wellycare, Bleeps.com, or topcleanup.com. Which one are you going to steal from me tonight?
There's some extremely bitter people coming through here. At the top of the list, Tim. No way.
No way.
And
It's right here. I
Phil,
mean, he literally could have won if it just had a little momentum.
we don't control this at all. This is somebody else's website. We just use it. It's public. It's live. So, you know, we it's just the luck of the draw. But anyway, well done, Don.
Well done. Yeah, so if there's any of these that you want done, let me know, or let me know later, and we'll get it over to you and set you up on your way. All right. B, Windows Buy. He's a smart man.
Yeah, well,
Windows Buy. Yes. Very cool. Very cool. So we'll talk afterwards and get that over to you. It's on GoDaddy, so I'll just need your GoDaddy email. So everybody's saying congrats to you, Don. Absolutely. Who really deserves this more than anybody? Don. He's on all of our shows. He jumps in like last week. He's helping with the moderation. He's doing everything. Yeah. So congratulations. That makes me super happy that he got that.
Great.
Awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. Well done, Don. There's a little question that just sneaked in at the end. So Radu's just saying he's going to watch, or they're going to watch the replay earlier on. They use their own proxies with their own system to do CTR. Cheers for the advice. And we'd like to have a chat. So if you join our school community, if you're not on that already, it's go.ht/sk. Go on there and drop me a line. Yeah, we could have a chat.
You know what I would love Radu to do is reach out to us inside the school community. And maybe we could get you on to share a technique that you're using. If you're willing to, we could do a little 10 or 15 minute talk with you next week if you are up to it. And we could talk about how you're using your proxies and stuff to do it. If you feel up to showing us how to do that. I've always steered away from proxies because I just kind of feel like the content is known by Google to be a proxy, but the technique that you were showing, Simon, was real traffic with Mentorprize and with these other tools and stuff. Yeah. So
well, some part automated, part organic from Mentorprize, a bit of both.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think that's the show for tonight.
Thank you,
Simon.
Really? Thanks, Daryl, and thank you everyone for tuning in.
Yep. And we'll be back at the same time next week, Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern time and 10 o'clock BST, which is, I think, 6 Greenwich Mean Time. Is there not 5 6,
5 hours? Yeah, 6. 11. That's it.
11 o'clock GMT. All right. So thank you guys very much, and you guys have a wonderful night. And make sure that we get you inside of our school community so we can talk with you more with things on there during the week. So thank you. Have a great night. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Bye now.